It's a Golden Age comic book, Witch's Tales, number 21. Kind of a weird looking cover. The picture on the cover has nothing to do with the inside of the comic book. It seems like the common thing they did with these Golden Age comics. This is from 1953, this comic. 1953 Space Commander Walkie Talkies. They got a little. This is kind of an EC Comics ripoff. This little witch, like the witch from Haunt of Fear. They have a little table of contents, all the stories: the invasion, revenge, the chase, dead end. Another ad. A chrome restore that works. $2. This comic book, the writing is really, really sloppy. I'll explain as we go along, but they rip a bunch of sources off. The invasion. This is a husband and wife at home because it's raining hard outside. They were going to go to the movies, decide to turn on the TV. And the husband decides he doesn't like this woman who's singing because she's terrible. So he starts changing the channels around, trying to find something else. He's not able to get any of the programs on due to the storm. And he wants to listen to the radio, but his wife reminds him that the radio is in the repair shop. Then a special bulletin comes on the air. So she wants to know what it is. They think it might be something to do with the storm. Then they say something's happening in Coney Island in New York. All these scientists and government military officials are there. Then they make the announcement that visitors from outer space are supposed to be landing at Coney Island in New York. And they hear like a loud noise, and they start freaking out. The wife and husband like, what is that noise? On the TV. And they reveal it's flying saucers landing in Coney Island, New York. And they keep watching. And then these aliens start shooting and killing people with their ray guns or whatever. Then the military says they're unable to stop the aliens. They start trying to change channels again because they think they're going crazy or something. They tell everybody to get away. All the troops and army are dead. Then a Martian comes on TV and tells them that they're going to kill everybody. The Earth is now theirs. And the husband and wife start freaking out. Like, what are we going to do? The husband grabs a gun and kills his wife. Then he decides to kill himself. They're laying here dead. Suicide, murder. Then they find out on the TV it's just a telescreen drama entitled The Invasion from Mars. So that's kind of a rip-off of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, when he did a radio broadcast and people thought it was real. But I don't know if anybody committed suicide. They may have added that part. Blind Alley. There's a little ad for Ripley's Believe It or Not comic book. I never read any of those. Then they got this thing like Mother Mongoose's Nursery Crimes, or like nursery rhymes. I guess I'll read this. Tommy Trot, a man we deplore, dug his way into a jewelry store. Nimbly and deftly he ransacked the place, and what he found there brought a smile to his face. Now he was happy he was going to live, but he never expected the tunnel to give. Kind of corny. Real corny, actually. Would you do what I did for revenge? And this story here is a ripoff of an Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Or maybe they ripped this off. I don't know, because I think the Alfred Hitchcock came out in the 60s. This was the 50s, if I'm not mistaken. But maybe I think Alfred Hitchcock based theirs off a famous story, so I think they may have ripped this off. But anyway, this guy's got a wife he really, really loves. He's always bragging about how great she is, how beautiful. She wants to go on a trip across country in a trailer, so he agrees. So they're out having a great time. And for some reason, the husband's always shooting his mouth off, telling everybody how great his wife is, how beautiful she is. So you know something bad's going to come out of that. They go into this little small town. There's this guy here they call a dandy. I don't know what a dandy is, but that's what they call him. And she's in the trailer. She runs out of potatoes. So she tells her husband to run to the general store in the small town to get some. Then he goes in there and starts bragging in front of all these strangers about how hot his wife is. It's probably not a good idea. Then he leaves with the potatoes. The other dandy guy leaves first. Then when he gets back to the trailer, the door's open. The food is all burnt to a crisp and smoking that she was cooking. And he finds her outside. She's all beat up, and she reveals that she was raped. In the story, they don't use the word rape. It says, he hit me and he made love to me. And then she starts saying she wants him to find the guy who did it to her to get revenge. So he says, yep, we're going to get revenge. Well, this is a complete ripoff of that Alfred Hitchcock episode I saw. It's the same story. Or not. I don't think Alfred Hitchcock would have ripped off this magazine, but anyway, they start looking through the town for the guy that raped her. And then she's like, there he is. So he has a hammer. Kills the guy. He thinks it's all over with. And then every single guy she sees, like the next guy, there he is. Like she's gone insane. That's the same as the Alfred Hitchcock episode I saw. It's the same story. Anyway, car burning oil. There's an ad for other comic books. Romance. Brides. All their horror comics. They had Witch's Tales, Black Cat Mystery, Chamber of Chills, Tomb of Terror. Complete baffling magic outfit. 20 first class delusions, only $1. They always have these ads for women to flatten their tummies. The Chase. This story here wasn't bad. This guy's seeing this woman. They decided to go into this Chinese place or Asian place to get some tea and something to eat or something. Then there's a psychic lady that says she can read the tea leaves and spell the future. She tells this blonde woman, beware of the dark man and the teeth of the dragon. Remember, you have no wings, you can't fly. Beware the dark man and the teeth of the dragon. So she kind of freaks out, wants to leave. They leave. The guy leaves the woman and she goes home alone. Then when she gets home, her landlady says, there's some guy in a dark suit looking for you, like the dark man the lady was talking about. So she gets more and more scared. She gets afraid of a cat making a noise. She decides to go out to see a movie, like a musical comedy, to get her mind off of what's going on in her head. And then when she's walking home, she sees a dark man. He knows her name and starts yelling for her. She gets scared and starts running away. running away. For some stupid reason, she thinks it's a good idea to run up to the top of a roof. So she's so freaked out by this guy because he's kind of creepy looking, and because of the prediction, she jumps off of the roof. And like the story, beware of the dark man, and the dragon teeth right there. She's falling and hits her head on this fake dragon statue, kills her. She couldn't fly. That's another part of the story. But then they reveal this guy was coming to tell her that her uncle died and left her $1 million. And they're like, why'd that girl kill herself? It's like, people are very strange. That's the end. Come fill the cup. Witch's Tales. You get 25 issues for $2. Wow. Mother Mongoose's Nursery Crime. Here's another dumb one. This is a man all tattered and torn that escaped from prison on Sunday morn. But the police were behind him in hot pursuit with shotguns, handcuffs, and bloodhounds to boot. Running and gasping, the man came to a stream. He at last loosed the bloodhounds. It was like a dream. For he knew that in water there was no scent, so he picked up a pipe all twisted and bent. And unseen, unnoticed, he sat on the bed of that river that flowed over his head. To breathe underwater, that was his goal, but he failed, for the pipe had but one hole. 20. And this story here is an EC ripoff. This guy is a businessman leaving work one day. He's planning on going on a getaway. It's his birthday and a vacation. His wife greets him. Then his daughter and son-in-law just kiss him goodbye and run off. They don't even mention his birthday. So they get ready to go on their little trip with the chauffeur to the cabin. Then they reveal the chauffeur's not driving. It's actually some guy that he had killed a while back with the mafia, because this guy's a crooked businessman. So the guy's telling him he wants money. He pulls a gun, of course. He tied up the original chauffeur. So he keeps telling him he wants money and they're going to do this, do that. Pulls the gun out on his wife. Then all of a sudden the one guy whose birthday it is decides to jump on the blackmailer or whatever. Chokes him to death. They decide to bury him in the cellar of the cabin. And when they turn the lights on, it's like, surprise, happy birthday, Jim. All of his friends. That's an EC ripoff. EC Comics ripoff. In that story, the guy killed his girlfriend, but it's very similar. Chewing gum reduced 5 pounds a week. Seven Ellery Queen comic books. This back page is ripped up. Another muscle ad. Back page got it ripped up there. Anyway, that's Witch's Tales. They had some sloppy writing and a lot of plagiarism here. Not very great title.